Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I am finally back into my groove of things now that my collaboration is done, and I had such a fun time doing it. It took up a lot of my time though because there was so much work involved, so I'm glad to just get back to the basics of just creating a piece of art. And unlike a sane person, I jump right back in to do a geode that has a ton of work. But I got some beautiful glitters from Just For You Online UK that I want to show you and that I want to use. And they're just so beautiful. So they sent me some of their Rebel glitters, which is like the upper echelon of the glitter lines, and they are just gorgeous. So the two I'm going to be using tonight are the blue. Well, this is Purple Flakes. This one I'm not sure of the color, but I will link it below. I'll put the name of it below in the description, but it is absolutely gorgeous. So my plan is to explain the important parts to you guys, and then when I'm actually just laying down the colors and the glitter, I'm going to fast forward those parts just to try to keep my videos a little bit shorter because I've noticed how long they are, and I don't want to burden anyone to have to watch a long video like that anymore. So I'm going to try my best to just the boring parts where I really have nothing to say, just fast forward through those a little bit, do a time-lapse video, and try to shorten it up. Anyway, so my plan is to make a geode. As you can see, you're looking at it sideways. It's actually going to be displayed like this. And I've gone in with a pencil and I drew in some sections. That is the most important thing that I can relate to you when it comes to trying to make one of these things. Have a plan ahead of time. Try to figure out like how you want your lines to go, what colors you want to use. You'll see here I have like little letters I wrote in, like this is blue glitter, this will be the purple flakes in here, so that you know ahead of time and you don't have to sit and pause and think while your resin is sitting in cups, losing its working time. Another tip I could give you as far as these things go, don't try to do it all at once. Do a little section at a time. Now, this is for new people, obviously. If you know how to do these, then you're going to do, the whole first layer at once. But for a new person, do a small section at a time. Even if you did only one section and let it cure and then come back and do the next one. Get used to the feel of it, the flow of it, and how things work. Another thing would be, don't mix up a lot of resin at once, especially if you're working with a short work time resin. StoneCoat countertops is excellent. I get at least an hour, most times more than an hour out of it. And Art Resin is another one that has a very long working time. The store resins, they're usually between 25 and 35 minutes. But mix up. I usually do about 8 ounces at once, and I've been doing these for a long time just because I always stop and pause, and I change my mind a million times. But just mix up like 4 ounces and do a couple of sections. And then if you want to mix up more, go ahead and do it. Just take your time, be prepared, have all your colors with the sticks in the cup already so that you can pour your resin in, just mix it. This way you don't waste time opening your bottles, putting the color in, shutting your bottles, mixing, next color. It does count, it does cut the time down drastically if you have your colors and your sticks already in the cups set up. So speaking about colors, the colors I'm going for are my white or black matte color is going to be white. I'm also going to be using Purple Sapphire, Black Cherry Wine, Emerald City, Cosmic Blue, Lucky Green, and Just For You Online UK also sells pigments and crystals, and I also got some of those. So I'm going to be using their gold and their chameleon violet blue. So I'm going for a peacock theme. And there's one other glitter I want to show you. These are like, I don't even know how to explain how beautiful they are. They're like the drug of glitters. These are called Opal Flakes, and they are just yummy. I'm going to use Sharon Lindley's word, yummy. They are gorgeous, so I'm going to be using those also. So what I'm going to do is get set up. I'm going to mix up my colors. I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you each color and the company that makes it. And then I will do the time lapse of me putting down the first layer. Okay, let's look at all the pretty colors. This here is the Black Cherry Wine by Resin. This is the gold pigment from Just For You Online UK. It's like that Egyptian gold. It's beautiful. This is Cosmic Blue by Rezin. This is Purple Sapphire by Resin. This is Emerald City by Resin. My camera doesn't like to focus when I get right up in it like that. I want you to see those colors. This is Lucky Green by Rezin. Angel White by Rezin. And last but definitely not least, the Chameleon Violet Blue by Just For You. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to move it around so it'll catch the light. It's really, really strong in person. The highlights of blue and violet, very beautiful. And then I have the glitter out here. My plan is to do the center first with the Cosmic Blue, and then I want to try to sprinkle this here blue glitter. I really got to find out the name of that and put it below. My plan is to sprinkle it on top of the wet Cosmic Blue. And then with that Chameleon white, the Chameleon Violet Blue, I'm sorry, I'm going to put it in these two areas here where I'm going to be using the flakes here, which I'm trying to show both of these to you if I can get them open. I don't think you can see that. Let me put a little bit in my hand. And trust me, it looks even better than that. It's nighttime and 'tis dark. And for these, as I said, what I'm going to do is I'm almost going to lay these down like rhinestones. Once the resin is firmed up a little bit. I think I'm going to lay them out like rhinestones, but I may change my mind on that. I guess only time will tell, and you guys will see. These are cute little triangle shapes. They're awesome. Alrighty, so here we go. Enjoy. All right, so you've seen me lay down some of my colors. Now what I'm doing is going through and adding some blue glitter lines that are mixed in with some clear resin. If you use a big stick to do your glitter, the line won't break off as quick. Because it's able to hold more glitter than the regular popsicle stick. Now you see my resin's getting thick now, but I can control a lot better when it's like this. Okay, and one more over here. All right. And I think now what I'm going to do is add in, I have a little more of this dirty pour cup left, Plus I do have other resin, but I wanted to mix up, before I can no longer mix it up, some more of that Chameleon Violet Blue, because these two areas here I'm going to probably be putting in those little triangle, the purple flakes that I showed you. So let me just get that mixed up, and I have to put another pair of gloves on. I had to take them off to restart the camera back on normal speed. I like the whole dirty pour look, and then I know you saw how I left the little gaps in between and filled them with gold. I really, really like doing that technique. Adds a little interest to the piece. Now this needs to come off of here, right? Just looking here. I have to be careful because, as I said, it's getting thick, so it tends to flop off of the cup where you don't want it to flop or plop. Plop, flop. Okay, so I'm going to spread out these two areas. I'm not going to make you watch that. All right, now in these two last open areas, I'm going to do just like a smorgasbord of colors. I'm just going to put all the colors, including my dirty cup that I have here. Just going to do the same thing I did here, which is kind of just zigzag it through. And then I'm going to fill in the open spots the best that I can with the rest of the resin I have left, the individual colors. Right? I'll leave the gold for the last part of it. And hopefully I will have enough to do what I want to do here. It's getting really thick now. As for the sides, I'm going to go around when I'm done and wipe them down with my finger and not worry about them now. I just want to make sure that they're flat and don't have big bumps on them. So I'm going to string this through, leaving a bunch of open spots. I'm going to move it a little bit with the heat gun. Just to, or maybe not even move it, maybe just heat it. We'll see. But I want to have some open spots to add the gold last. Oh, shoot. Wow, I'm proud of myself for not swearing. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. Oh, good thing I have some white. So, I take a stick. I'm gonna shush that one out with the other end of that stain stick. And carefully. I could go over it with white, but I want to get most of it off of there. Plenty of white left. I'll have to come back to that. All right, so where was I? Right, some purple, just a little bit. Kind of putting the colors on top of each other. I would have did another dirty pour, but the resin's too thick now. So we're going to try it this way. All right, so I'm going to heat it. Oh, you know what? I did have white in there too. Well, I do have some white. Well, here. Let's kind of go like this through it. And I might need that white, Tammy. Well, this is really thick now. Okay. What a gooey mess. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Get a little bit of gold in this. Or you know what? I'm not going to put gold in it. I'm going to kind of fill it in, right? Let's see here. Fill it in, and then I'll outline it with gold, because we already did that in those two center pieces. So let me just switch it up a little bit. Plus I have to fix a couple of areas here. Well, actually, yeah, no, I have to. Oh, there's a hair in my resin, dear Liza. I'm just kind of filling in, doing my thing. I would love to blow it around a little bit more and make a little bit of cells and everything, but then it's going to loosen everything up and everything's going to start flowing. So we don't want that right now. Nope. And there I'm not going to even bother with, because I have to do the gold. So I'm going to get another big long stick. These sticks at the end of the night, I wipe them down and reuse them. Hopefully I can still do this. Oh. And I'm coming from the wrong direction. Holy crap. I can't believe that I just achieved that. Wow. I'm pretty impressed with myself on that one. All right, let's try it again. Will she get lucky 2 times in a row? The room is tense. You can cut it with a knife. Look at that. Let's push our luck, shall we? Why not? Wow, guys. That was pretty tense. And now I just need a little tiny bit more to go right in here. Little spots like this is what usually screws everything up for me. just like, I don't know what it is. It's a little tiny spots. All right, that's it for layer 1, I think. I think I'm going to torch it and give you a shot of what it looks like. So let me just show you what I'm going to be doing off camera so that you know. All right. First of all, these little babies right here, I am going to take my Quick Stick, which they do work with. Quick Stick is a precision pickup and placement tool. You use it for rhinestones, things like that. So let me demonstrate for you. Everywhere you see, I'm thinking maybe the white or this chameleon color. I'm going to place these on individually, one at a time. So it's going to take me hours upon hours. And if I give up, then it was only because I just couldn't do it. And if you see them tossed everywhere, it's because I couldn't do it. But anyway, so I'm going to take each one of these and literally, once this is almost dry, stick it right on there and do the whole area. Okay? And then as for this blue section, I'm actually going to sprinkle on right now some of the blue glitter, because I am going to be placing stones and all those goodies right on top of that area. And I'm going to be using the glitter almost like I used the holographic paper. It's going to reflect up through the stones and give it a holographic look, if that makes sense. So, very carefully, because I don't want to get it everywhere, just in this blue area. And I can see already I have 3 flakes in the white. So I'm going to be very careful, and I'm going to sprinkle it everywhere in that center area. Because this stuff is magical. And you know, it may be better for me to use a stick to do this. Let's test out my theory. Whoa, that was close. Maybe not. I don't know if that's sparkling on camera, but in person, it is to die for. Nice and slow. Get to your spot. Just going right up the center of it. I want to leave that little bit of contrast between the glitter and the cosmic blue and the glitter lines that I did. Okay? So that's it for this part. We'll get on to the next part next. So this is it after layer 1. That chameleon pigment, look at it sparkle. It's just really beautiful. Look at the blue glitter, the gold. Let's see if you can see these cells, the depth in them. Now that's how glitter should sparkle. I cannot wait to stud this thing. I'm going to call how I'm going to do the glitter studding. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so here we go, part 2. All right, so I have you out in my living room because I'm going to watch TV while I do this, but I'm mixing up just a little tiny ½ ounce of resin. And what I'm going to do is use an old paintbrush that I don't care about, and I'm going to paint a very thin layer using the resin as if it were glue. My original plan, my original plan was to do this last night while this was really tacky still, but it got so late and I fell asleep. So now I need some kind of an adhesive to attach these glitter flakes and the rhinestones and all the baubles I'm going to be using. So I have my glitter flakes on a plate here. Okay. And I'm going to do a little bit of this on fast forward. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. I'm going to use my pickup stick. And what this is a stick. It has a little sharp point on this end to help you flip over the rhinestones. And then on this end, there's a little ball of wax that you just touch whatever you're picking up with and it sticks to it. So I'm going to pick one up and stick it to the areas that you see me paint the resin onto. So I'm going to be using that, the glitter flakes, and then I'm also going to be using these little rhinestones that my subscriber Karen sent to me. Thank you, Karen. They are beautiful. So I'm going to put those in some places. And then I also want to illuminate some of the center with some little crystals and these little plastic cabochons. All right, so let's get started. First thing I have to do is paint the resin on. All right, so you saw me have to abandon my idea of placing these down one at a time, only because the tip of my quick stick kept touching the resin and then they were sticking to the quick stick. So I had to just put that down. But what I do want to do is, now that I have my 2 areas that I have that in, I want to just take a little bit of it that's not mixed in resin and put it on top. Because sometimes, although I don't see it happening with this glitter, sometimes resin can dull things like crystals and sparkling things. So that's why I always like to add a little bit on top. Just like I did with this here, I added the glitter on top just so you get the full sparkle of it. I'm also in these 2 areas and a few others most likely going to be adding some diamond dust, because that helps tremendously. So what I have here is some diamond dust that my lovely Karen also sent me. Thank you, Karen. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on top of that glitter. It doesn't really need it, but the more bling, the blingier it is. We all love that bling. Just put a little bit in there. That's it. All right, so now what I'm going to do, you're going to see me do, is you're going to see me use the stick to do the little rhinestones. It will work for that because they're higher. And then I'm also going to work on the center. Okay, so I have my rhinestones going up both centers here. You can't really see them in this lighting and where I'm positioned here under the ceiling fan, but I will show you when it's done. So now what I have to do is I just want to add a little stone and work to the center. I don't want to cover the whole thing because it's beautiful. So I'm going to kind of have some rocks and gems and all that coming out from the sides, maybe do a little like patchwork almost. And yeah, and then after that, all I'm going to do is put some lines and a top coat, and it'll be done because this is just gorgeous the way it is. It doesn't need much more. So I keep looking at these two white areas and I want to do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little bit of resin I have left and I am going to do this. I'm going to make a thin, hopefully be able to, a thin line of resin going up this way. Carrying it through here. Only need a little bit. And then I'm going to very carefully and methodically place little pieces of gold leaf on top of that. Just in the right spots, just to do a little bit of outlining. Here. So we're going to have it come up that way. We're also going to have it come this way here. This resin is very thick. It's been sitting for quite a while. Indeed, don't, I'm sorry guys. My cat is rubbing up against my tripod. We'll excuse him, he's sick, so can't yell at Indiana. All right, and then over here, I'm going to do the same thing. Outline up this way and this little bit here, and then I'll come back and do the gold leaf. I almost forgot my beautiful flakes of love that I will also be adding. So here we go. All right, so we're almost done here, I promise. I get really insane when it comes to things like a smudge in a corner or glitter where it isn't supposed to be. It bothers me immensely. I cannot help it. I know it's very minute, but I just want everything to be perfect. So I don't want to mix up more white to coat this, because then what if the white that I mix up is stronger and brighter than the first layer I poured? Then I'm forced to do this, these, and these that don't need it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some diamond dust and cover those areas. I just took a marker, drew in a line here, drew in a line over there. I'm going to fill them in with diamond dust, and I'm also going to take the diamond dust and go around this whole area and the one over there. Plus, I want to add a little bit into these little white areas. The Opal Flakes that you saw me put on the outside here that are now there, they are gorgeous, but they are as light as a feather. So you have to be really, really careful when you're using them. I would suggest putting them in resin first. I should not have done what I did. That was my bad. And I knew they were light. It was my bad still. So, I would definitely recommend mixing them into a little bit of resin and then just laying them out where you want them, just to, keep them from flying around. It's just like gold leaf. It just flies through the air. There's nothing you can do about it. So I'm going to zip you through this part, and then it's going to be time for a top coat. I'm sorry, I lied. Then it's going to be time to sand on the sides and then do a top coat. Right, so now what I have are some of these little micro bead Ashland brand decorative fillers. And I realize that you can still see through this diamond dust, but once I get done doing this, I'm going to actually sprinkle on some white glitter and a little bit of this just for the texture and to cover that up. So it will leave me alone. So let's see here. I want to just try some of these right in here. just for the hell of it. Let me try one over here. So these are helping to cover up the little smudges too. So I'm just gonna place them around randomly here. It's just one of those things, and I know we all go through it, and you may think I'm being fussy, but I worked so hard on this, and like everything is in such nice, neat order. The lines are all nice and neat, and then you got a big smudge. So to me, it's bothersome. I know to some people they may think I'm nuts, but to me it is. So no piece of art is perfect. I realize that for sure. But I'd like to have it as neat as possible if I can achieve that. I am really, really happy with this. So let's talk about what is left to do. So once this dries, I'm going to come in, I'm going to freshen up my marker lines. And I'm going to freshen up my marker lines. And then I'm just going to take this outside and just sand the sides down because I fell asleep last night and I didn't keep up with them, so they're bumpy and they have drips on them. So I'll just sand them down until they're flat, not until they're gone, until they are flat. And then I will try to film that. I think it's supposed to be like 70 degrees out tomorrow here. So I will try to film that. And then once that's done, it's, you know, doing the top coat. So I'm not going to bore you with the rest of this. I'm just going to place these around and add a little bit of white glitter to it. And I will also put more diamond dust on top of it. Just sprinkle it on top. And yeah, that'll be it. So I'll bring it back when it's time to finish this sucker up. I'm hoping you guys can see this. Do you see this pigment? That's the Chameleon Pigment. Watch when I back up. See it turning pink? Look at those rhinestones glittering. Oh, I can't wait to finish this. All right, we're almost there, guys, I promise. I do apologize if I go out of frame at any moment. I really cannot see out here. So this is what we have so far. And now I have to work on my sides. So I'm going to do this in time lapse so that I can add some music and the sanding noise will not be so obnoxious. So what I'm using is Hyper Tough, Walmart, under $20. The sandpaper, I believe, is 100. It's really rough sandpaper. Okay, so you just go down the sides, but here we go. So as you can see, the resin's not totally gone, but it's flat. All right, so what I'm going to do is finish this up, and then I'm going to come back and paint the sides. So now let's be honest. That could have totally all been avoided if I had just taped my sides. So that is why I like to tape my sides really, really good. Just so I don't have to go through that sanding phase. Because then what you could do after that is remove the tape, paint your sides whatever color you like, and then let the top coat of resin that you're going to do flow over it. If you're not doing a top coat, then you could just paint your sides a nice glossy acrylic. Speaking of, the acrylic that you want to use, especially if you're trying to cover over drips, is going to be, or need to be, a thicker bodied acrylic. I love using this Golden brand. It's like super, super thick, and it goes right over. Anything less than this, I find it streaks and I have to do multiple layers. This one, though, is so thick. It's almost like the thick consistency of really thick, heavy-duty gesso. So now after you've sanded your piece, you want to come in and you want to wipe it down good with some alcohol and a towel or a paper towel that is not, doesn't have a lot of fibers. This type of paper towel here will leave a ton of lint in your painting. So I try to get these shop towels. They're pretty good. And you just want to be careful of if you put stones in here. I've already cut my finger once and I'm bleeding from it. So you just want to be careful when you have stones on your painting like that, because they are sharp. And to answer another question that may come up, do I cover my stones 100%? No, I don't. It takes an awful lot of resin to cover those stones. An awful lot. Now, if the person that bought this piece wanted to pay to have them totally submerged, then that would be one thing. But it goes on the wall. People shouldn't be touching your art. And it should just be admired. So make sure you look around, because even these type, they will rip on the stones. You don't want a piece of paper towel floating around in your painting. And there's one spot here that is really annoying me, and I know this is going to sound so horrible. You know, there's nothing I could do about these little glitter flakes. I'm just going to call it part of the painting. But this little spot right here, and I'm almost wondering if I would be able to, oh, it looks like it's coming off. I just try to work so hard to keep these areas so clean, and it just drives me batshit crazy when that happens. All right, so now that I have this all wiped down, I'm sure I probably missed a piece of paper somewhere. It'll float up in the resin. I don't see anything right now. I'm going to mix up my top coat, and we're going to get this baby done. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I have to paint. Holy macaroni. So, I'm going to get a paintbrush here, hopefully. There we go. So I got a paintbrush. I'm going to take it right out of the tube. Or actually, maybe I'll put it on something just so I don't have to struggle. Here, paper plate. Perfect. So you're going to see how thick this is. It's like really, really thick. So what you would do is just get some on your brush and start painting over that resin. Now, because the drips were so thick on mine, it is going to be looking bumpy at first, but once I do the top coat, it's going to even it all out. Right, so see how nice that covers first layer? So you just want to go around the whole entire outer edge, paint it white or whatever color you want. Try not to get your painting. It's very hard for me to do this while filming because I can't hold this and aim right. Alrighty, so I'm gonna paint that up. I will probably do 2 layers to try to hopefully mask some of these little drips. But I'm really thinking. So now here's the thing. I'm gonna do a top coat on this because it's actually not the top coat. It is filling in the higher, like over here where I did the lines. So I'm gonna do the final layer, I should say. But this is still gonna, and so that resin is gonna go over the side. Plus, when I sell it, I'm gonna do another top coat on to just cover it all in. Okay, and that may sound confusing, but as you can see here, because I did the lines of the geode and didn't work on anything else, I have like raised areas here. So this coat that I'm actually putting on is just to level everything out. It's not even the top coat. All right, guys, so we're at the last part of this video now. Once this cures, I will be posting it on Facebook and all that, but it's pretty much what you see is what you get. There will be no changes to it. You saw me saying the sides, so I want to do my shout out. I want to shout out my girl, Monica Barnes Art. She is an amazing artist. Her projects are really simple. She's really easy to understand, and she just makes some really beautiful, beautiful art. So check her out. I will link her below. And I want to mention, I do have codes for the products that I use. The glitter, just for you, online UK. They have glitter. They have crystals. Not sure if I showed you the crystals that I got, but these are bigger size ones. But they have different size ones. And they're pigments. This Chameleon Pigment is gorgeous when it moves around. I don't know if you can catch it with the light, but it's turning that beautiful violet color. And then when you lay it down, it's like a pearl color. And so they were kind enough to give me a code for my channel because I love their products so much. And the code for that would be Resin Head. This is all listed below. They did just start a new Facebook group too, which is really cool for new people because it's about tips and tricks. And I have that linked below. And the last person I want to mention is my honey bunny, Resin Head Abstract Art on Instagram. He just, I say my honey bunny, you think it's my husband. It's not though. Actually, some days I wish he was my husband. Anyway, he has this beautiful new geode that he made, and he named it Goldie Rocks. It's just so beautiful, all white and gold. So it's actually his code that you're using on my channel for the glitters. But yeah, just make sure you check that description box below if you need to order anything, to make sure that I don't have a code, you know, because if I do, you save some money. So anyway, I'm just pouring this on all over. I'm going to spread it out. And then what I will probably do, because resin tends to dull the diamond dust a little bit, what I'm going to do is, once it sits for about an hour and a half and I know it's not moving anymore, I'm just going to sprinkle a little diamond dust in the areas where I had it. The other glitters are fine. Those still sparkle. It's that diamond dust that has a tendency to dull a little bit. So, I know most of you probably know how to do this, but there are people out there that do not know how to do this, so that's why I'm filming this spot here. So I'm just going to wiggle it around the board. be running my hands down the side, even though this is not my final coat. I just gotta be careful over this glass because it is sharp. So as I said before, this will still get one more coat when I sell it. This is just to fill in all the holes and all the gaps and all that. To make sure it's a level piece. All right. The sunlight can be your best friend when it comes to seeing if you miss spots. Like I missed this spot right here, the whole thing. It's hard with resin because it's so shiny. I'm pretty sure I have the whole thing now. And I have a little floater over here. That I have to get out. Little piece of loose glitter. Or I could put it back in its place. And then you want to torch it at least 3 times in the first hour before it starts to really get thick. After the first hour, no more, because you may burn your resin at that point, but make sure you do your sides. Okay, and that's it. So, I guess I could give you somewhat of a close-up, even though you're not going to see all the sparkle. You know what? I'll wait for it to cure and give you guys a close-up. I wanted to really post this, but I will wait. Alright guys, I got you in the dark here so you can hopefully see how beautiful she turned out. This is going to burn your eyeballs out if you look at it in the sun. I can already tell. Look at that, just for you glitter. Wow. And this pigment here is actually the Chameleon one. Let's see if... No, you're not seeing it. I'll have to do it out in the sun too. But anyway, I wanted you to see it in the dark. So that means I guess I'll have to wait till the morning to post this video. Or late afternoon because it takes a while to upload. But I wanted you to see it in the dark also. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that center. Oh! Alright, here comes the day view. Alrighty guys, she's all done. Until she is sold and gets another top coat. Look at this glitter line right here, just twinkling. So pretty. Cookie, don't you dare come up here. I swear you will be going out the door. Sorry, you guys that don't know me well probably think I'm nuts. That's my cat's name. I swear nowhere in this house is private. Look at this. Get back! So nosy. So yeah, I am in love with this one. I really am. So let me show you now how it would look displayed. So I designed it to be displayed like this, but you could display it whatever way you want. It doesn't have to go this way. And this Chameleon Pigment, see, I can't, in person I can see it, but maybe because I have the flash on, it's not showing up. Well, let me try to get show you a glimpse of it. You can see it a little tiny bit in this area when I turn it. Unfortunately, you're seeing the reflection of everything else in my damn house. But it's there. It's there. Take my word for it. It's there. So guys, that concludes our video for this time. Indiana, Indy, would you like to say peace out? Oh. He says, Mom, I gotta look fancy before I get on camera. Anyway, again, I would like to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Comment below and look at the description. Have a great day, guys, and happy pouring.